surely SALTxi8 is going to turn up, right? They didn't turn up in weekday number 1, they didn't turn up in weekday number 2, but against the league leaders from the weekdays, freestyle, like you said, they just shredded them. But before that, as you can see in these Oppo moments, SALTxi8 were picking fights left, right, center, and they're happily winning almost all of them. So clearly, this is the team that we were looking forward to coming into the Pmpl Pakistan.
Yeah, but you know, as we take a look at the Oppo moments, this is again one of those wrong decisions from QWERTY that we got to witness. You know, both the players just going out. You know, these apartment buildings are so easy to defend that you barely even have to break a sweat to try and win these fights around. But this is again 52 Rage. I think they were on a whole different adrenaline high that they were feeling themselves over there, and they just rammed in and instead found FMxR3D right behind them, who clobbered them down. And now taking a look at, this is where, you know, MetershotxSKY got that room and space, especially when Regicide had been brought down. But God Fury still up to this man. He did whatever he possibly could have done. He did manage to take down one of the most important players, that's Pika from FMxR3D. It's sort of taking their dreams away from winning the first chicken dinner in Super Weekend match number 1. But this is where, you know, H2E did not have a lot of choice, not a lot of options. MetershotxSKY had taken complete control over all the important compound. They had their players stationed at the right area.
Performance for first game can be anticipated for the second game, alright, but then third game onwards you have to start rectifying those mistakes, and if these teams are not able to do so on day number 1 of the Super Weekend itself, then it's going to get that much more trickier for these teams as they push on through.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's gonna get that much more difficult for them to try and find, you know, a key position after the end of the first Super Weekend. You want to be feeling comfortable. You want to be able to take the momentum into the second week of league stage and try to pull something off. But hey, we'll see. Even H2E, I think another team that was in the top 5 in the first match of Erangel, but clearly not able to replicate that form today. I think really spread out in their approach today, and I think what we got to see in this match of Miramar is that a single moment can really destroy an entire team. For example, that moment with the car blowing up, Respect doing brilliantly, but again, not able to translate those moments into actual chicken dinners or great placement points overall.
Yeah, that becomes quintessential, and that is something that not every team is able to capitalize upon, because you need to have that sort of a mindset as you jump into the fight itself, and many teams practice a different sort of a strategy many times. But moving on through to the game replay itself, the open moments, we do have some amazing skill shots being showcased from the side of freestyle. 4v TFT is another team that I did want to mention as well. When it comes down to kind of consistent play that they are being showcasing today, it is different play style that they anticipated during the league plays, and that is working for them. I mean, previous game they were in the top 5, I believe, no, in the top 8, and then in this game,
you know, go all guns blazing, nothing looking back. They don't care about position points here.
Yeah, really, and I think that's something that maybe will become a concern for them come day 3 at least. I think day 2 is something they can use to balance it out, but day 3 it will become a concern for sure. But right now, looking at our Oppo moments, we saw from SALTxi8 itself, fights picked again all around the field, and again it was something that we've started to appreciate as the trend of today, maybe, where these teams are just very happy to take any fight they get.
Yeah, I mean, of course, now, you know, I'm still kind of confused because this is way more than the pace that we're accustomed to, right, in Erangel. This is just too much, even for my own liking. Of course, everyone loves those actions, you know, panning out. But this is a moment we need to understand, right? Every single game counts. And SALTxi8, I do not know. I mean, I think they've already made so much money from the previous tournaments that they've played. Maybe you know, these $500 do not bug them a lot. They're looking at the bigger picture. They want to win the entire thing altogether. But, you know, you've got to act upon baby steps. Now, this is where IQ made such phenomenal movements. Now, Danny just coming out thinking that he's going to backstab the players and just gave his position away.
Strides, some Jordan strides is what I would say, based on how they played during the league plays, as to what sort of a play style they've gotten set up for themselves in this first day of the Super Weekend. With that, as we move on through to the opponents right off the bat, I mean, 4v TFT, they are definitely popping off heads. Of course, they get caught off guard as well, but that's part of the game itself, and especially on Sanhok, you better get third-partied or else you're not playing.
I mean, you've got to respect that 2 minutes rule, right? You've got to make sure you find yourselves in good cover. But I think the grounders, clearly they did not win the chicken dinner. But in terms of how they performed in the matchup, those elimination points really coming in handy, that they've been given that first spot in comparison with Star, who are right now getting the second spot, even despite the fact that they had the chicken dinner. So they just missed out on those couple of finishes extra that the grounders had to themselves. But for now, it was such an interesting game of Sanhok. Really set the mood in, really getting in that little bit of a change in taste, because with Erangel and Miramar, you know, this is where teams sort of start building up, right? And then suddenly Sanhok comes in. It's like a slap at your face, right? It's sort of it completely changes the dynamics of how you're approaching the game. True. It sort of changes a lot of things. You know, teams have to have a whole different approach at this particular map, and this is where, you know, teams that aren't really in the fray, this time's MVP battle, Lakshay, is going to be so much more exciting, huh?
It is going to be close. It is definitely going to be really, really close, because every single day as we join in here to the Pakistan lobby, every single time there is a different player who is just completely outshining the lobby, you know, and that is something that as the days progress on, we will definitely look forward to from other teams as well. But right now, it is definitely Quantum Rage and Serious IQ. I mean, these two dudes have been on top of all of those gameplays being showcased from the side of Quantum Rage. But is that going to be enough? Because, yep, you've made it, but it's a 3-day affair, and Super Weekend, it's all about making that consistent play from one game to the next. As we move on through to consistency, with that conversation, we need to bring up H2E, who have been very, very consistent throughout the entirety of this day number 1.
You know, of course, before heading towards H2E, I would like to make a little bit of a clarification. The most important fight for Quantum Rage was against MetershotxSKY, and them taking the fight right to them, because MetershotxSKY were the ones holding that compound, and they were the ones who came in, rammed in on towards them, took them down. They knew they were the tabletoppers. It's going to be so important for them to clinch that first spot, to take them out of the picture, and them doing that really helped their purpose. Now coming down to H2E, right? This is the moment where I think Assad did the right job, but it was a little too late, because before that, Quantum Rage almost took take a look at the overall rankings. There you have it, right? 79 points, and they've gotten ahead. And not just them, but it's going to be Team H2E as well, who's managed to take down MetershotxSKY. Now, Freestyle, somehow, they've managed to hold on to their 4th spot. But look at the grounders, 5 points up. And SALTxi8, again, courtesy to a really good game. Now, they're sitting at 35 points.
As we move on through to the page number 2. Now, this is where the teams that we see the names of were not anticipated, at least not for the likes of Regicide. I mean, a 52